All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So, gonna look at four stocks today: EBET, COSM, APRN, and SBEV. Okay, I think EBET has some interesting things going on. Okay, and I say it across every single video when it comes. All right, the day after a doji generally tells you the truth. Okay, it's not a set in stone 100% right rule every time. However, Monday, if it goes up, oh man, it's hard to believe that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday won't follow. If Monday comes down, I'm gonna be a little worried going on, and I'll be honest with you, things are kind of looking good down here. So day after the doji is gonna be the real story here on EBET. Okay, from there, COSM, man, COSM is really why I stress wait for confirmation. Okay, I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of break even on COSM personally. I don't have a big chunk in it. I did take like a just check it out kind of thing, but I thought it was going to do a little better than it did. Again, knock on wood, I'm glad I didn't go too big for no reason, right? But it's really close. That said, we've seen so many really closes fail really poorly, right? So that's why I really stress confirmation. Hey, apron looks really good. And then SBEV, that was an interesting one that came through. You know, I always say it, I do not care about price targets, and I love the way that that was brought up on the YouTube video. All right, so we'll go through all this and more, but before we do, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do really does help, all right? And hey, even just being here and giving me your time, you're already doing so much, okay? And then if you have not already, check out the Discord group. It is 100% free. You can see they're talking while I'm doing this thing. You're in really good hands, and I am legit not even close to the best one in there, all right? So all that said, let's get into EBET. Okay, so look, big gap up. Okay, and I often say it, I really care less about one day, and it's more about what happens after. Okay, and specifically with this one, look, as I zoom out, you can immediately see it. I hope before you say it. Ever since we lost the 20 moving average, this orange line, all we have done is been under it. Okay, we get really close, we stay really close, but then we go really far away. We get really close and then we go really far away. You know what I mean? So it's been a very long time since we've gotten over the line, let alone actually broken it and sustained a run over it. All right, and end of the day, that's what I'm here for, right? I'm not here pretending that like, yay, that's great, and I'm gonna go find the next one. That is not, you can't do that every day of your trading life. You know what I mean? What we're looking for is consistent up, because it's real easy to go to bed, wake up, and make money than it is to like hunt for those every single day. You know what I mean? But we get over the line, but we don't break it, right? That is not confirmation. And really the worry would have start to been, oh man, are we about to go back to the 8 or under? Instead, we see this, all right? And look, I think a lot of people are going to focus, 10% on a single day is really big, okay? I know we see things like 100 plus, 80 plus, 60 plus, 40. Look, a double digit day, whether it's 10 or whatever, oh my, that's a big day, okay? But the focus is here. All right, and there's a couple things I immediately like. Number one that I noticed, so this candle opens down here at 7. We are at 7. One of the things I wish was this thing had more decimals. It just clearly doesn't, and this is not where I move my money, right? Like I see all the decimals when I move my money, okay? That said, I'm clicking the line right there, and it clearly looks like Friday closed above it, right? Like we closed here. We are now into this candle and well above 50% of that, right? Like, yes, this is a bounce. No, this does not count. But in my little simple head, I'll kind of call this a good doesn't count, right? But again, for real, why do I say this doesn't count? Okay. So it opens right here. Some people really think it's going to start going up, maybe go all the way to the 50. Some people really think, no, this 20 moving average was no joke and we're going to come down, if not lower. They then decide, you know what, let's just end at the same place we opened and let's see what happens on Monday. This is a doji candle. I don't do candle trading. I don't do pattern trading. You're never going to hear me talk about like falling wedge and like head and shoulders. That's not my game, okay? I respect the doji almost as much as I respect the lines. That's actually, again, my simple, humble opinions, right? Like, I'm not saying that that's important for everyone, but yeah, day after the doji will be telling. I am very much hoping for this right here, a real 8 cents. And more than anything, I'm looking to just break half of this Wednesday candle. You can see that's pretty much where I'm holding right there, right? Okay. From there, look, the 50 is coming down, but I don't think the 50 is going to be coming lower than 10 cents if I had to guess on Monday, okay? So this is still going to be a hard 9-cent line. I really do think, actually. Hopefully we'll even wick this, but the money is here, okay? Because I see this plateau right here is very insignificant. There's this right here, but honestly, this is one single insignificant, and this plateau right here had at least a couple little whatevers, and this one little big one that I said, all right, I'll make a 50. This is nothing. This is nothing. Break the 50, get into 12. Where's 12? Yeah, we're setting a 12 alert here for sure. Get into 12, and man, it might be a red climb of green all the way up to the 100 at 21. And going from 12 to 21 is almost double, actually. All right, so I like 12. I do. I normally would say kind of, hey, maybe wait for 14 or even a 13 for the buy. I actually think this is a little too insignificant in this like dirty string of red. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like that. Again, very easy, very as positive as everything has been up to here. We can for sure slip to 6, or if not down to 5 where this 8 moving average is. All right, I'm assuming both on Monday are going to come really close to this 6, and it should be hard to lose those two lines, just as hard as it's been to break them up. Hopefully we're now starting to go up, and that like 6 is too hard. But yeah, if this slips into 5, oh man, you better have your finger on the mouse if you're trying to make a buy and move up, because I would be really scared to walk away from the screen and see us go from 5 all the way down to like a hard 4 or 3 quickly, and that's an almost 50% drop. Again, insignificant pennies are very extreme double-digit days here. All right, so again, the real goal is to get into 8 or 9. No, it's actually like it's not even that high in 8. It's very much 8.5 if I had to guess. 0.85. I always have to guess the extra decimal here, right? Is what it is. I love the lines. I obviously love my like better one, right? The one right here. There is no member version, I swear. That's just, I gotta delete that or rename that shit soon. I'm just lazy. I'm sorry. But EBET, again, I think this is a risk tolerance game. And look, we still have not gotten over the 8 moving average. Getting over that 8 moving average will not be easy. That 8 cent line is not going to be easy. That 9 cent line is not going to be easy. I think it really makes me a little happier that I set that 12 cent alert. All right. That said, I already know the Discord. Look up there sharing. I love these people. The Discord group will probably be talking if this thing starts running, because I know we do have focus. All right. The last things I'll talk about is down here. Still not quite in the positive, but that's beautiful divergence. And we went from that slope, like it looks like the slope is going up more. And again, divergence is just a fancy word for lines going away from each other. And we like it when green is going up and away from red, right? Green is good, red is bad, like a traffic light, right? So again, I'm seeing this continue up. I'm seeing the green, worst case, they're parallel. I'm actually all right with parallel. Just keep green above and let me believe. And hey, volume hasn't been that bad. Again, I'm kind of disregarding this one. We're holding a relatively consistent slope up, and I like that. I do. And it's easier to see when I zoom out, but the white line is starting to grow up. Like there is more volume starting to come. It's starting to raise the average, and you know, there's some interest. There is a lot of red, 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 red. There's a lot of really healthy spacing between these lines. Hey, I don't know if we're going to break the 200 at 40. I think it's wildly silly to have 40-cent dreams on a 7-cent stock. I also see a really, really hard plateau right here. So like, I think it's going to be very, very, very difficult to get into the high 30s, okay? Again, just look, I'm gonna just, because I want to stress this before I go, because I feel like I've been very optimistic, and I'm not trying to say I'm not optimistic, but like, let's just keep things real, right? The 100 has also literally only been touched once. There was a nasty little move here, and a lot of people got their hands stuck in the cookie jar, that's for sure, right? So just keep history in mind. This 100, I don't think it's going to be that easy. Hopefully we can have some $7, some 21-cent dreams on 7. But again, I just kind of said, you know what? I'll have 12-cent, 12 to 21, right? I think that's just a little more realistic than 7 to 21. Hey, I'm not going to get 3x, but knock on wood, it's a little bit more of a comfortable ride right there, right? So just a different perspective, different risk tolerances, all that sort of stuff, right? So again, I looked at the weekly, we didn't break the 8. That is a solid view of EBET. Let's look at COSM. Okay, let's talk about COSM, and I'll be honest with you, COSM, I'm sad about how this went, all right? This 8% loss pretty much ate a lot of the profits I made on these two, all right? I actually got in not because of what I see here. I got in because of what I saw on my The One, all right? So I will be actually honest there. That's how this thing kind of came to my plate. I made a little play a little bit earlier than I normally. Look, I have my rules. I break my rules. Sometimes it bites me in the rear, and you know, is what it is, right? Sometimes it does me well, and yeah, I had red, 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 green, 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 green dreams. I for sure did. And you know what? It didn't happen. And this is why I keep saying wait for confirmation. Look, that's a good candle. That is not a doji. Yeah, I see the wick. Yeah, I see, like, that's a big healthy candle right there. On this day, there was 10%. And truth be told, man, I averaged up on this day, and it was probably stupid. 144 is where I got a little too excited. I saw us break this. I thought we were going to keep going. I did not wait for confirmation. Again, I got a little excited. You know what I mean? It is what it is, okay? That said, look, we have come down. We're still holding the 8. But as optimistic as that even is, and again, I'm saying this like I am ready to lose some money, and I will very much hit eject quickly. I think this is a good view. I think this is a good view, okay? We get close, we lose it. We get close, we lose it. We get close, we lose it. We finally break it. We finally break it. We finally break it, okay? All we've done is this first we get close. I don't know if it's going to take a few more before we actually break it, okay? And then let's just kind of look at this. This is like this one's even kind of work, right? But we get close, we get close, we get close, we finally break it, right? Like this thing doesn't break it on the first go, all right? So yes, I am in this. Yes, I averaged up a little early. I should have waited, is what it is. You know what I mean? And end of the day, I think you can argue 148 is a decent entry, all right? Maybe even pump it to like 149, 150. Clearly, if you have the patience, damn, 157, that's a little bit. But even then, I think I'm just getting too greedy. Like, just wait for 158. All right, and you literally have nothing but red. Man, that I'm setting that 158 actually. I want to know COSM 158. That's a fantastic channel. The goal is really to do it. Look, the 50 is going to continue. I have no idea what the math is on these lines, right? Like I don't even care. I just follow the lines and do what I'm told, right? This line looks like it's coming down. And it looks like it's going to slip under my 230 line, right? Where did that 230 line come from? From right here, 50% of this big bad boy, right? But or maybe even off the weekly, because you know what, I would believe, yeah, you know what, if I had to guess, it was maybe off of that weekly, because it looks like it might have gone down right there. Again, I don't know, whatever. Either way, as this slips under and starts to come lower and lower, my from here starts to, you're not going to go as high. Like right now my limit actually isn't 230. My goal would be come up to the 50, and as the 50 slips lower and lower and lower, it makes it less juice to squeeze, right? But what it does do is it makes these two bigger and bigger and bigger distance apart, and hey, it becomes maybe wait for the 50 and run up to the 100. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely hoping that this thing breaks the 20 and runs up. All right. So far it didn't do it, right? We were close, no cigar. Hopefully the 8 moving average holds. I think the oh no number is 129. All right, you know, I give my money lines often, like oh no, I think I'm scared. 129 for sure. 128. I think 128 is you know, in my opinion, pull the plug and eject, because you slip that, and what is this stock going to do? What it really knows how to do very, very well, continue to go deep and deep into all-time lows, right? So just remember history, know where we're at, and yeah, don't take these lines for granted, I think is the, and moral of the story, I'm not perfect. You don't listen to, like, you know, I got a little greedy here. Knock on wood, I got in early enough to like not hurt personally, but, and knock on wood again, I didn't buy too big and like, you know, hurt myself, right? All right, that's about it for that one. Apron, let's come into Blue Apron. This is looking nice. All right, there's a lot to actually like on Blue Apron. All right, the very, very important thing to say is the 200 moving average is coming up on Monday. Okay, we've seen so many different reactions to the 200 moving average. This thing can very easily reject down and fail, or if this thing breaks, it's game over. And you can see what this thing is, right? If you see it in the box over there, 925. 925 is the magic number, and realistically this is going to come down on Monday, right? This is clearly a downward slope. I still think 925, 926 is a really, really good money line. All right, if this thing crosses that, oof, there's not a lot, right? Because I put my line right there. I remember saying there, because I don't know if I made a video on this or not, but this line is a little bit something, this 11 something. Again, you can argue that this like 10 something is something. I didn't draw any of that. All I really see is red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, green, green. Like, I think break the 200 and you can be a real quick climb to 13. All right, from there, you hear me say it so often, the gap fill line is hard to break. I don't know why it is. Believe me, if it wasn't, we'd all be millionaires just catching gap fills, right? But it's hard to break the border. Once it does fly. You know what I mean? And you can see this one came all the way to that once it was able to break. But yeah, it just, for whatever reason, couldn't continue, right? So don't just naturally assume the gap fill will run. But yeah, it's all about the 200. And look, the one stock, and by no means do I think Apron is an easy comparison to this, but I just covered this and I remember, like, this is what, like, this was a real nice, for like, that was a very, 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 very bad reaction to it. All right, the other one, I mean, again, Palantir is not the best examples, but like, you know, you try to break it once you can get over, like, that's essentially what we're looking for, right? And with Apron, we're close. All right, that is a positive MACD with a healthy divergence. That's an RSI that's actually not that, like, there is still a little room for this thing to go up, you know what I mean? So and I'm just zooming out to see how high it's been. Has it been? It hasn't really cracked the 80s. Interesting. How about if I zoom out? Okay, interesting. You've gotten it here. 89, but you really peaked and dropped. Yeah, you went 78 to 89 though. Like okay, it's weird. You know I like slow and steady, right? I wouldn't mind a 74 to 89 RSI flying monster tomorrow. I actually wouldn't mind bringing this to about 1060 or about 1017. That would be a monster candle, monster day. But what that would do, in my opinion, is get us over the 200 moving average. And then if it cools down, hopefully comes down to the 200, cools there, and then rips. Okay? That's actually what I think I'm looking for. I don't think I want another slow and steady. Like, I want big, not this thing. I want this. We got big. I actually want another big. I don't want another 2 horizontal then go. That's not what this thing needs, all right? Last thing I want to show, look, I think actually the zoomed out view is the best. We have not had a lot of days that have broken this 50 moving average. What I'm asking for might bring one of these volumes, okay? This is the only one I'm going to look at post-market because I'm curious. Nice, it's holding. It's holding. It obviously went down a little bit, but yeah, it went insignificantly down, right? Like, it's holding. Those are some golden crosses right there. Again, let's see if it continues up or if it horizontals out, because these theoretically were insignificant, right? Like that one was, that actually continues. That one's a bad example, but you get what I'm saying. So APRN, I'll be honest with you, I'm liking the daily. I'm hoping for a big rip tomorrow. And man, look at this weekly, right? Obviously, we need to confirm. That's not, let's do that. This is, 1018. I think that's actually what I just talked about, right? 1018 was literally 50% of those two. That's where I got it from. Or whatever. Yeah, I think 1018 or 1050. I think those would be good confirmation. Because look, the way I see it, we actually didn't even break 2 moving averages on a single candle. That one breaks one, that one breaks one. Let me confirm. You know what I mean? But yeah, APRN. I think there's a lot to like, and there's a lot of reason to believe we're gonna get one silly little rip of volume come Monday. So APRN, definitely check that one out. SBEV, this is the last one. SBEV, there we go. Okay, so let's check this one out. And truth be told, I think this one has a lot of commonalities with COSM, okay? This looks like it wants to do well. I for sure see that. I for sure see that. I for sure see the nice little volume. I actually see a relatively good, like, holding of that volume as well. You know what I mean? That said, look, we broke 2 moving averages and I'm expecting a wild move up. I am. Like, this has to kind of come as close to 94, if not actually really that. I think 92. All right, because all you're seeing is red, 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 red. And I would be, I guess 90 would be okay. I would kind of call that confirmation too. But again, just in case you fast forwarded to here, COSM looked like it was going to do it and didn't. COSM had some really nice stuff going on. SBEV, again, I see it. I do. I actually think that this is at least an interesting enough chart to where I hope others look at this one and maybe at least watch this on Monday, because I think it's an interesting watch on Monday. And look, if it only goes up to 90 something, that's still actually a decent percentage, because it's not quite 10 cents, but 10 cents is a double digit, right? Cut that in half and you're still looking at close to 10% on its own, right? So and then, yeah, obviously if we can get over the 50, there is a nicer move right there. And then clearly, I say it every single video, break all 5 and fly, right? We've clearly been under all 5 and ready to die, and that's all it's been doing. But it's tried this before and failed. It's tried this before and failed. It's trying this again. Just remember, you have to assume it's going to fail unless the stock gives you another real reason to. I think this volume here versus any of these might make it a little better to justify. You know, I say volume is king, and this has some decent volume. I think, because like, look, I'm just doing some rough math. This cancels out this cancels out this This more than cancels out that. Clearly, that cancels out most of it. Like, I think there's been a little bit more buying than selling in this little run, too. And more than anything, what that means to me is people are holding as they're buying more, right? Like, it's easy for someone like me to buy and dip, buy and dip, buy and dip. It seems like people are like, nah, I think I'm going to hold this. Let's see what happens. So, there might be something interesting brewing here. That was a beverage pun. I hope you enjoyed that. But I'm just zooming out also to see volume relative. Let's get rid of that little one. We've seen this before. I think this is the closest example of it. That's a little more like harder sloped up versus this, like, I'm not going to call it horizontal, but like that's a little bit healthier, I think. There's some interesting things here. And then damn, obviously, wow. Okay, that was just something really silly, and that messed up the 50 moving average. Okay, so I think we've actually corrected from that. I was going to say, like, that normally would really freak me out, but yeah, I clearly see it was nothing more than 3 days that kind of skewed all the data, right? But yeah, I think there's some interesting volume things happening here. Am I a big believer that we're going to break this and fly over it? Not just yet. Do I think that there's a shot that this breaks the 50 and goes here? Yeah, I kind of think maybe. But again, make sure the stock gives you a reason to believe that, all right? Not just the words coming out of my mouth. Hey, I appreciate your time. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, as always, you know it. Thank you. Thank you.